Guys, the court is trying to sort out who represents the family, and there's already confusion about the attorney stepping away while still planning to collect fees.
Why would I want
wanted to stay home before and you had fell and hurt yourself a number of times and had to go to the hospital?
I fell and hurt myself once, and it's kind of snowballed since then.
Mr. Blom, we went through this about 6 months ago. That's why you're in the place that you're at now. What's changed?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. That's why I'm asking you what's changed. I need to have some reason to move you from where you're at.
Because there's nothing wrong with me now.
What was wrong with you before that got you to where you're at now?
I don't know. I was misrepresented is all I can say.
Other than your ex-wife, is anybody else asking for you to leave the place that you're at now?
No. That
Isn't
should be
your
enough.
ex-wife, isn't your ex-wife the one that didn't take care of you at your house?
No.
That's what seems to me the reason that you had a guardianship to begin with. Anything else that you want to tell me, Mr. Blom?
Yeah, I've got a lot of things I could tell you.
Oh, I'm listening right now.
Well, for one thing, I can't leave the building.
Who said?
The management here. They won't let me go outside.
It's the middle of winter.
I have warm clothes.
Where are you going to go?
I was going to go to the car waiting in the foyer for me.
Who was going to pick you up?
My ex-wife,
And where was she going to take you?
somewhere to eat, and then bring me back here.
Is there someone there right now that will confirm that they wouldn't let you go out to eat?
Yes.
Who's that?
I'm Kim. I'm the social worker here.
Hi, Kim. What can
Hello.
you tell me about his claim?
All I know is that the ex-wife has tried to see him on multiple occasions. I know there's been conversations about her not being allowed to take him out at this time.
So it's not that he can't go outside, it's that he's not supposed to go with her.
Correct.
All
I
right.
can't go
Mr.
with
Blom?
anybody.
That's not what she said, Mr. Blom. She didn't say you couldn't go outside, you couldn't go places. You just can't go with your ex-wife because she's the one that got you in trouble.
You're making a presumption.
No, I made a decision already. I said your ex-wife wasn't a party to this case, and she's the one that didn't take care of you at your house. That's why you had to go into guardianship care.
She took care of me at my home, our
Not
home.
very well.
Well, she can't help what happens to me if she's not at home at that moment.
She was there and she didn't call anybody to come help you. You had bed sores because you were laying in the chair for so long. You had bruises because you were hurt and she didn't call anybody for any help.
I don't remember having bed sores or bruisers.
Well, I do.
You didn't see them.
I heard about them. I had testimony about them.
Well, testimony and heard about them are different than seeing them.
That's called facts. It's called facts in court, Mr. Blom.
I can't argue with the judge, I guess.
Well, you can, but it's not going to get you very far.
That's my point.
So it sounds like you can go outside and they're not stopping you from going outside. They're just stopping you from going with your ex-wife. So what's your next concern?
Why would they stop me from going with my ex-wife?
I just explained that to you. She was the person that caused you to have to go into guardianship because she didn't care for you well.
Well, I was there and I disagree with your assumption.
you're certainly able to disagree with me, but you asked why, and I just told you why. Anything else that you have a problem with?
Yeah, I don't get any money. I'm supposed to get like $60 put into an account here. And when I went to get some money out of it, they told me the only reason I can only use it to get haircuts with, according to my son. They wouldn't give me any of the money. I haven't had my phone. They took that away from me, supposedly to get it fixed, and I've never seen it since then.
As I understand it, your phone doesn't have a charger. Do you want to buy a charger for it?
I would if I had the money, but I don't have any money either.
Okay, I'm going to ask them about that in a minute. What else do you have a problem with?
Yeah, my ex-wife Kathy is not allowed to visit me.
We just talked about that. There's a reason for that. Any other issues?
Yeah, my children do not remember me on my birthday or my Father's Day or Christmas, or except for Christina's sent me a Christmas card. Betsy has not visited me since 2014. That was long before I was interred here.
Okay, what does that have to do with whether or not you need a guardian?
Excuse me, I've got to sneeze.
Mr. Bloom tells the judge he wants to go home, saying there's nothing wrong with him anymore. But when the judge presses him for proof, something solid, something medical, he doesn't have it.
Well, maybe a little concern and care for me would indicate that I'm being taken care of. Right now, I'm not being taken care of except here, but I got 3 hots and a cot, and that's it.
Well, they're listening right now. I'm sure they heard what you just said. Any other reasons why you think that the guardianship should be taken off?
Yeah, my kids are taking stuff out of my house without permission. They've sold my car. They've sold my riding lawnmower. They've taken my medals and awards when I was in the Navy. You know, what am I going to have left? A brick house?
Do you still have the house? Do you still own it?
The bank owes it because I haven't made any payments on it because my kids take all my money.
So do you have a house, Mr. Blum?
I answered the question, Judge. I would if I had the money. I don't have the money because my kids are taking the money. They're having my mail redirected to my son, and he doesn't give me a time of day. I asked Kathy to go to our bank, Fifth Third, downtown Gaylord, and ask for a credit card for me. So when something comes on the TV that I want to order, I can do that. Well, next thing I know, the state police is calling her and saying that she's, I don't know, absconding with my millions. No, no. They say I don't have a wife because at one time she filed for divorce, which is granted, and 2 days later she wanted to remarry, but they wouldn't let her because not enough time had elapsed. I don't know why she's not on here right now. She knows perfectly well about this meeting. Give me the.
Mhm.
Any other reasons, Mr. Blum, that you want to have the guardianship terminated?
Yeah, I can take care of myself
Where are you going to live?
in the house that I have that I can pay for if I get the money that I'm supposed to get.
Do you know how much you owe the bank? Mr. Blum, do you know how much you owe the bank on the house?
Not specifically because I don't get any statements from the bank. They're all intercepted by my son.
All right. Anything else you want me to know, sir?
It's like being imprisoned. I got a 10 by 10 foot square room. Like I said, I get 3 meals, such as they are, and a bed. And that's it. If I was in my own home, I could have more freedom. I have 2 dogs. I have a woman that will be my wife if this whole shebang is dropped.
All right. Let me hear from Ms. Greider next. Let me have put you under oath. Ms. Greider, would you raise your hand so I can swear you in? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Let's kind of go through these issues that your dad has one by one. The first one, he says that he doesn't have any money. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
The Medicaid application allows for him to have $60 extra per month after the Metalodge is paid. And I've asked my dad repeatedly to tell me what he might need, and he has not shared any needs with me. I have sent him packages on Father's Day, on his birthday, on Christmas, and in January I sent a pair of sweatpants because I felt like he just needed some replenishing of clothing items. We spent our own money to fund an account. My sister and brother and I all chipped in and sent money for him to have haircuts available to him. I'm happy to meet whatever other needs he has with those $60. Plus, my husband and I can be generous also and help him with things he might need, but he hasn't shared any needs with us.
What kind of contact do you have with him on a regular basis?
I did supply the court a list of things, a list of interactions I've had with my dad.
Mr. Bloom claims he's being restricted, saying he can't even leave the facility properly. At first, it sounds serious, but then a staff member steps in and clarifies everything. He's not being locked in, he just can't leave with his ex-wife.
It includes Zoom quarterly care meetings with Metalodge, with my dad and staff, that my sister and I have been on every one of them. My brother and my husband have also joined as able. I've had phone calls with him 2 or 3 a month until recently when he just hangs up on me. I visited him in August. My sister visited him also in August. And my sister's husband visited him in person in October. So personal visits from my sister, myself, and my brother-in-law, Zoom meetings every quarter, sometimes more frequently if he's been in the hospital and he comes back, and regular phone calls, also sending packages.
When you say regular phone calls, is there somebody that would be able to call him weekly so he can have a little more frequent contact? I mean, you could spread that out between the family members, but would that be available?
Any of the family members are welcome to call him.
I'm just wondering if we could set something up where he could know that there's going to be a phone call on such and such a day at such and such a time.
Oh, like a regular schedule?
Absolutely. I think that would do a world of good for him so that he doesn't feel quite so isolated and quite so lonely. Is there a
Certainly.
way that you could set that up maybe rotate it between the family members so he gets to talk to everybody on a
I
regular
would be
basis?
happy to. I set up a Zoom call at Christmas so that he could speak to his grandchildren. They had a half-hour Zoom meeting.
That's a great idea. I can't think of anything that a grandpa loves better than talking with his grandkids, speaking from personal experience. So I think that would be a wonderful way to go there as well. And then if you could have some, even just once a month, a card, a letter, a whatever from somebody. Maybe if you had the grandkids start doing that. I don't know how old they are, but if they could write something, send a photograph or do whatever, just so he knows that he's got people at home that are thinking about him and talking with him and engaging him. One of the worst things in the world when you're cooped up is feeling like the world doesn't know that you're there. So I think if we can get him some frequent contacts, whether that's over the phone or in writing, and maybe a little bit of both, I think that would be wonderful.
Yes, sir. Also, I'm in the process of moving him to North Carolina. He has a PASSR pending currently, so that he can be, my sister and I together visited a place that we felt was very acceptable, clean, modern, wide hallways, well lit, courtyards. It was very nice, and they do take Medicaid. So we are currently waiting for all the paperwork to get completed, and then I'll have to apply for Medicaid in North Carolina, and we'll move him down here where almost all his grandchildren, all his great-grandchildren, and 2 of his 3 children live, so that we can visit him regularly. So I mentioned that to my father, and he said he didn't want to come, but in the meantime, he calls, and when I do talk to him on the phone, he says that he, doesn't like being there and he doesn't get to visit with folks. So I'm trying to resolve that problem for him and get him close to family. So that is underway.
That sounds like a great idea. Any time frame available on that?
So the PASSR was applied for in January, and was it January or December, Betsy? It's been weeks, and I checked with her last week prior to this hearing to see where, and she said it was still pending. It's apparently a 6 to 8 week process.
Okay, well, at least you're started on that, and it sounds like a great idea to me. Let me take your dad's next issue with the phone and the charger. Tell me a little bit about that.
My dad has had an unreliable cell phone for years. In fact, I used to call Kathy's phone if I wanted to speak to my dad, because my dad didn't have it turned on, he didn't have it charged. Whatever the issue was, it was always a problem to try to get a hold of him. So when he got to Metalodge, his phone wouldn't charge, and I asked Metalodge staff to please use a different charger to try to get his phone to charge. And I believe they attempted to get his phone charged, and it would no longer take a charge. I have a new Google phone that I'd like for him to get set up on, but frankly, I was waiting for him to get to North Carolina so that I could help him manage it.
All right. If he were to receive regular phone calls, that may take care of, in the interim, that may take care of that issue for him a little bit better too. So I'll leave that in your discretion. The issue with his ex-wife visiting and having contact with him, what are your thoughts on that?
Your Honor, I believe Catherine to be manipulative, dishonest, and I don't trust her. My sister and brother feel the same. There's been multiple interactions where she's lied to medical staff, to law enforcement. She always called my husband and I to complain about my dad before the divorce. When she called to tell me she was divorcing him, it was because he was cruel to her. That is a direct quote. And then when she found she was unable to purchase a home in Florida,
Then things shift into something more personal and, honestly, more emotional. Mr. Bloom starts talking about money, his phone, and feeling completely cut off from control. He even says his children don't care about him, claiming they've ignored him for years.
because of their lack of payments and foreclosure, which ruined her credit as well as his, she came back. I don't think she's good for my dad, and I have asked our lawyer to talk to Metalodge's lawyer to not allow her access. I don't think I'm wrong on this. My brother, my sister, my husband, and my brother-in-law all concur that that is the wisest action to take regarding Catherine.
All right. Excuse me. Your dad made some allegations that his car had been sold, his lawnmower had been sold, he couldn't find his medals. What can you tell me about those things?
I don't know about his medals. His lawnmower was sold, and his car is still at my brother's house. We would like to sell that vehicle that he can no longer drive. He was ordered by a doctor not to drive anymore, and he has an expired license before the fall in April of 25 that started this whole thing. We would like to sell the vehicle to pay the back amount owed to Metalodge, which is only owed to Metalodge because Catherine helped herself to his funds twice, writing large cashier's checks to herself, which made us unable to pay Metalodge for the month of May. Once the vehicle is sold, that will pay the back amount owed to Metalodge and also any amount needed for transferring him to the North Carolina facility. All the rest of the money will stay in his account. We have no desire to spend his money or steal anything of his. That is a fabrication of Catherine's that she has shared with my father, and he believes her. It is false. We have nothing but his best interest at heart.
And you as a guardian are keeping track of his finances and in fact are required to, at some point at the end of the year, required to account to the
Yes.
court for all those things. Is that
In
correct?
June. Your
All right.
Honor, everything that goes into his account is his 2 small annuities and his Social Security. And the only checks that have been written against that account have been to Metalodge. That's
All right,
the only accounting that has to be shown because that's all that's happened.
What is the status of his house?
The bank foreclosed on that house. There was an auction on October 9th, and now the Veterans Administration owns the home. I also supplied the court with Otsego County Court tax records to show this because the Veterans Administration had backed that particular loan, which I believe was a predatory loan. And they now own the house. So my father doesn't own the house, Catherine doesn't own the house, and I assume they will be taking over the house and reselling it to recoup the losses. I don't know that. It's up to
Do
them.
you know where his ex-wife Catherine is living now?
Oh, she's living in that house, I believe.
All right, but your understanding that she does not own the house, and is she going to be evicted from there, or don't you know?
I don't know. I started on. I got so many nasty text messages from her, Your Honor, that I finally blocked her. So I don't know. I don't have any communication with her anymore.
All
It
right.
was not good for me to continue to receive those messages.
I can understand that. Is there anything else that you want me to be aware of in deciding what to do with this case?
I can only tell you, sir, that my sister, my brother, my husband, and my brother-in-law are all of one mind. We are all cooperating, working together to provide the best care for our dad. We love him despite his crankiness, and we are loyal to taking care of him. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. Mr. Blum, do you have any questions for your daughter?
$60 a month. And it's funny, I've only had 2 haircuts since I've been here, and the account only has $40 in it. So whatever she thinks is happening isn't happening. I don't want to go to South or North Carolina. I don't.
Why would you not want to be with your kids and your grandkids?
In the Royal Oak or Oak Park or whatever area that I can visit or come and visit me. Whereas 2 of my kids live in North Carolina and one lives in Fenton, and he's never been to my house, ever. As far as my wife lying, that's fabricated. She doesn't lie. She's a Christian woman, and so frustrating talking about somebody that lies to you and said.
Mr. Blum, do you have any questions for your daughter, for Ms.
I just feel in my heart that this whole thing is going the wrong way for me. I want to go home. I don't want to be here. I don't know how long I've got left as far as years or lives or whatever. Certainly no one loves me as Kathy does, especially my own kids. They say they love me, but they don't show it in any way. It just.
The daughter steps in, and this is where everything flips. She doesn't speak in general terms. She brings details, structure, and explanations that directly respond to every concern. She explains the money limits, the family contributions, the calls, the visits, even plans to move him closer to family.
I'm very disappointed in the whole procedure so far. I feel that it's going the wrong way as far as what I would like to have done.
Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Blum?
Nothing I can think of right now.
All right, thank you. Mr. Blum, I am watching your children very carefully as we're having this hearing, and it appears to me that you're breaking their hearts. It appears to me that they are doing everything that they can in their power to make your life as good as possible, that they are, in fact, acting in your best interests, that they are doing what they can to get you into a place where you will feel loved. It is difficult, separated by the distance that you are from them, through nobody's fault, but that's just what life circumstances did. And they are working to bring you closer to them and to your grandchildren, and they are providing for you well now. I have previously sat through a hearing and made a determination that your ex-wife, Kathy, was not a party to the case, and that she did not have your best interests at heart, and that she was at least in part responsible for the circumstances under which you were in medical difficulties and were unable to take care of yourself. You were living in a home at times without heat, and had serious medical issues because of that, because of the falls and because you weren't able to get out of your chair on a regular basis. And she did nothing to assist you in that process. That's why you were brought into guardianship to begin with. I see nothing now that has changed. There were allegations before about her financial manipulation of you. I don't see any different happening now. And I'd find it to be inappropriate to take the guardianship off now. I've asked your kids to increase their contacts with you, and they've agreed to do that. And they've agreed to make sure that you have some funds with which you can make some purchases, to make sure you get your hair cut and maybe get a phone charged. And then hopefully you'll be down to North Carolina and with your kids, and they'll be able to see you on a regular basis in person, unlike what they can do now. It does appear to me that they are having more contacts with you than you currently recall. And that's unfortunate that you don't recall them, but it does appear to me that they are having more contacts, and you're simply not understanding it or not realizing it, which is, again, one of the reasons why you're in the home and the facility that you're in now, because you don't always understand what's happening in reality. And that's unfortunate, but it is a reality here that I have to deal with. So for all of those reasons, I'm going to deny. I'm sorry, what's that?
I said, can I respond to some of these allegations?
I gave you a good opportunity to already do that, sir.
All right, but then you brought up some more. You say,
what else would you like to say, sir? What else would you like to say, sir?
My kids do not respect me or would take care of me the way Kathy would. As far as my wife, should Kathy have to rent a car to come and visit me when my son has a car, my car, sitting in his driveway? What's the purpose of that setup? He sold my lawn tractor. Why? You know, somebody still has to cut the lawn. Right now, I've got a very nice neighbor who shovels her walk. Kathy does not lie, and Christine is lying, saying that she does lie. This whole thing is being manipulated, I think. And as far as me staying here, or going to North Carolina, I would just as soon kill myself than go to North Carolina or eventually stay here. This whole thing's a farce.
Mr. Blom, those kind of statements don't help your case.
Well, that's too bad. That's how I feel, okay? As far as me remembering that I've been visited, that's a lot of baloney. I don't get phone calls. I don't get visits. Christine makes this up to make it sound better, but it's not true.
Mr. Blom, Mr. Blom, let me ask you a question. Why would your kids lie to you?
Serves their purpose, doesn't serve mine. They want.
What purpose is that? What purpose is served by them lying to you?
I have no idea.
That might be a place to start thinking about it then.
You know,
if they have no reason to lie to you, maybe they aren't lying to you, and maybe you aren't seeing what they are seeing. I find it incredibly difficult to believe that all of your kids, not just one of them, but all of your kids would get together and try to lie and then say, but we want to bring you closer to us so that you can see your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids. That makes absolutely no sense to me at all. So I have to believe that they are trying their best to do what they think is best for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything, but it does make me think that you aren't thinking clearly when you don't have a reason for them to be lying and they're trying to do things that will help you.
How about cash flow?
We already talked about that. There's a limitation because of Medicaid about that. And she said that she's going to try to get you some more funds.
What are you doing?
That doesn't sound like she's trying to keep it away from you. And she's certainly not benefiting personally from all of this.
I don't know that she is or isn't.
Why would you suspect that she's trying to take money away from you?
Because I only
What has she done? What has she done to make you think that?
because I've been here 10 months and I only have $60, or 2 weeks ago, I had $60 in my so-called account, and it was only for haircuts. Since then, I've had a haircut for $20, so I assume it's only $40. The rest
Who
of the
told
money,
you it was only, who told you it was only for haircuts?
my son. There's a stipulation on my so-called savings account that I can only use it for haircuts.
I don't know that.
Well, I can't help what you don't know or do know. All I can tell you is what I found out.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Blum?
Yeah, I'm 81 years old. I want to live in my home. I have 2 dogs. I have a wife, or a woman that will be my wife again, who loves me, will take care of me. And whatever Christine has just said about her is a total fabrication.
Thank you, Mr. Blum.
Yeah.
I wish there was another way to say this, but I believe that you are mistaken. And because I believe that you are mistaken, I find that your children have done the things that in your best interest, and it would not be in your best interest right now, given your physical health and your mistaken mental health attitude. I don't believe it would be appropriate to remove the guardianship from you, and I deny your request. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you. That's all for today.
Dipshit.
Wow.
The judge takes a step back and looks at the full picture, not just the words, but the reactions, the consistency, the history. He even points out something powerful, the visible emotion from the children during the hearing. Then he brings it all together. Past neglect concerns, financial issues, medical risks. None of it has changed enough to justify ending the guardianship. Even when Mr. Bloom pushes back one last time, the judge stays firm. And just like that, the final decision is made. The guardianship stays in place, and what started as a fight for freedom ends with the court deciding it's still not safe.